Congressman Eric Swalwell, Democrat from California. He is a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Well, Congressman, thank you very much for coming to the weekend. So, okay. Attorney General Pam Bondi is supposed to be coming to your committee on February 11th. The last time she was before a committee, she treated it like it was the Comedy Cellar with one-liners and put-downs of members of the committee. Oh, actually, we have that? We have that. Let's just play that.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Will you support a request so that the committee, or indeed, I believe the American people, should be able to see that video or audio tape? Will you support that request?
Will you apologize to Donald Trump for trying to impeach
the answer is you won't support that
after
request.
you now know that Joe Biden tried to cover up Hunter Biden's involvement with Ukraine?
I mean, Congressman, why bother have her come in if you know that that's her act?
Well, what we do know, though, and what she will be asked about, is that not only was Donald Trump best friends, most named in the Epstein files, he is now accused, and I use the word accused, of behavior that looks exactly like Jeffrey Epstein. And so whether we have the redacted files or not, what we've seen in the unredacted files is quite alarming. And if Republicans are not going to bring Donald Trump in, and they want to bring everyone else in, but not Donald Trump, then we'll have questions for the Attorney General about that.
President Trump, of course, has said that he has not done any wrongdoing. We haven't seen any, actual information, vetted information about him doing any wrongdoing or anybody else. But Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, former personal lawyer for the President of the United States, was just on another network and said that he couldn't talk about investigations. But in July, the DOJ had reviewed the files and there was nothing in there to prosecute anybody. This has been something they've said, even though Donald Trump has said the opposite. So when you hear those kinds of things that Blanche and the Attorney General at times has been like, there's nothing in here to prosecute anybody, essentially we should all move on, Trump is ignoring that. Do you think they're going to follow the facts here and move on, or do you think they're going to do what Donald Trump wants them to do?
I think this is a cleanup crew on behalf of Donald Trump. They listed, and I don't even want to say on television, the document that was highlighted that they released as it related to accusations against Donald Trump.
Yeah.
They released it,
then
they deleted it, and then they released it again. And that's right, it has not been corroborated, but it should at least be investigated.
Yeah.
And to just say we're closing this after a couple months when these investigations oftentimes take years makes people feel like this is just an effort to essentially make the president look good and do nothing to give justice to the victims.
Well, it does seem like you guys have a lot of follow-up work to do, as well as us journalists. But Congressman Walkinshaw was on the show yesterday, and he said that part of the next steps was getting in touch with the FBI agents who conducted those transcribed interviews that are referenced in those documents that you're talking about. But I want to redirect a little bit to the other fight that's taking place right now that you're going to have to deal with tomorrow. There were notably 7 Democrats who decided to fund DHS a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago now.
Who knows?
Time is the last.
Yes. At least one of them, Tom Suozzi, has come out and said that he regretted that vote, that he failed to see it as a referendum on the behavior and treatment of ICE. Do you think that any of other of those Democrats have changed their minds, or is Mike Johnson going to be able to get this through and call it a day?
I hope they have. I did not support 2 weeks ago. I will not support this week another penny for ICE. They already have enough funding anyway. We shouldn't give them any more funding.
They have enough funding for how long, Congressman? Tell the American people.
The big
how many
brutal,
years?
up to 6. The big brutal bill funded them way out. I mean, that's one of the...
So you're basically saying this is a symbolic vote?
Well, it's giving them additional funding that I don't want them to have, but we shouldn't do anything that cosigns on what they're doing. The more authorization that we give them or the more validation that we give them risks a mom like Good and a nurse like Preddy being shot in the face again. And so I hope my colleagues recognize we should be doing the opposite of giving them authorization. We should be supporting everything to have the masks come off, the identification come out, prosecutions, launched against these folks. And also, I have said that our executives across the country, governors, for example, you can take away their driver's licenses. You can say, in my state, you are unhirable if you have worked for ICE. We can't do enough to hold these folks accountable.
You and Dan Goldman, congressman from New York, are offering a bill stripping ICE agents of qualified immunity. In the time that we have left, what are Republicans saying when you talk? I assume you guys are talking to Republicans also on this bill.
Yeah, well, we know that there are Republicans who have privately said to me, said to Dan Goldman, they don't like what's going on, but they want us to be a part of, delaying this so we can find fixes. And we're saying we don't want to delay this any further because there are public executions in the street. And so as I step back, I see a president who promised he would cut prices, and instead he's killing people. Our job is to protect the people first, and that's what this legislation does, and that's what I think governors can do across the country.